Rock, scissors, rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
That was a mix between rock, paper, scissors, Spock, and Rochambeau for it.
I just, yes, Rosham Spock for it.
If I represent, yo.
I was gonna write you an email, but I'm a little drunk, and spelling is a sober person's game. So I feel I owe you explanation. I'm sorry. Explanation.
One. GD explanations is go. Dun, dun, dun. You have no idea what I'm doing, so that's all right. Oh, it's about time I got a TV show to go my way.
Chris.
Really?
Chris is the dinosaur stripper's name that is Isaac Higgintooth's soulmate.
Yes.
With the top tier dinosaur power, ghost power. Though, what would be the top tier dinosaur powers? Topic for another day.
That is, well, dinosaur powers.
I think we could come up with something.
Probably just lost me for the rest of the episode.
Do I need to write that topic down? Dinosaur powers.
I mean, because really, is headbutting going to be a power?
Yes.
Well,
Headbutting to that extent and not injuring yourself? Absolutely. Apache is in the running.
And she was the hero of the second Jurassic World movie?
Yes.
So,
she broke them out. She is the absolute hero, as she was just tiny and cute. So cute.
And ran around like a lunatic running into things the rest of the time.
Well, yeah, she just headbutted her way and their way out of brick walls. Gonna be a little bit stunned.
She did
it's fine, whatever.
I did think going through that first one, she did have to roll her eyes back in her head a couple of times. But I wish I'd have been in the theater for that. Oh my gosh. There are movies that we should have seen together. And that
was one. A little baby Stygimoloch, Pachycephalosaurus wyomingensis.
And the squeal that led to
the squeal that was heard throughout the whole theater.
Nailed. That would be like your humble agent when he saw Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, and when they realized that they were in the Monterey Bay Aquarium, told everyone in the theater he'd been there. I don't know if they've done that. Not at all. Well, should we get going here?
Let's do it.
We're trying not to have another 4-hour episode.
No, we're not.
So, welcome back, my fellow agents, Lilith's wonderful Hellions. It is I, X7, your agent of awesome action. And with me, as always, is Lilith Draco, because I've run out of superlatives to call her.
Hi, welcome back.
She's imitating a mushroom today.
This is my beach hat. It's my beach hat. It keeps the sun off of me as a sensitive skin ginger.
She will burn to a crisp in like 7 seconds.
It's true.
I mean, you've seen Dracula disintegrate in the sun faster than that.
Yeah.
But I'll start today because last time you started.
What are you drinking, X7?
I am drinking one of my old standbys, a North Coast Old Rasputin.
Nice.
Comrade, it's good, no? Moose and squirrel are not allowed to have Old Rasputin. It's a 9%er. It's a Tidge bitter, which is good. It's like the Yeti, which I had to get used to, but I kind of like, just a little bitter because of certain bitter people in my life. Got to turn this light down because it's driving me nuts.
Who
There we go.
are you? The bitter people in your life, or are you referring to the Mr. Brick Belland? Like,
Well, he doesn't remember he's bitter anymore, actually.
well,
So,
plus and minuses.
yes.
Eh,
Little column A, little column B. But it's good. I mean, it's just plus my cousin paid for it, so even better. One of my favorite flavors, free beer, free drinks.
you know, here in the 1800s, I don't think I have an actual go-to.
Well, we know where your go-to is.
I know where my go-to is. That's why
You know how to get to your go-to.
but that's why I specified in the 1800s. I don't have a go-to like old Rasputin.
I'm sorry about that. I must say, because your go-to is a pernt higher than this at a 10%.
It is amazing.
What are you drinking instead of your go-to? What are you drinking?
I am drinking an Elysian Space Dust IPA. It is, huh?
I've actually sampled that in Las Vegas.
Oh, nice. It is an 8.2 from Elysian Brewing Company in Seattle, Washington.
Are you going to be really mad at me if I tell you how to pronounce that properly?
Oh, I know I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, so please correct me.
You do know for sure? It's Elysian, like the Elysian fields in Greece in Olympia, where the good dead go to after they die.
What is it?
Elysian.
That's what I said, Elysian.
Okay. Must be my old ears hearing the wrong thing.
Elysian?
You know how hard I try not to correct people about things like that anymore. So hard.
Elysian.
It's not wrong to want to speak correctly.
I'm just trying to mess with you now.
Not that I know who would have said that quote.
What the hell is that?
It's a coloring book.
Where did you get that? Why haven't you shown me that? Were you keeping it hidden from me?
I just got it the other day. It's a late birthday.
And you didn't tell me? And it's a Ross page. Why is the Ross page not colored yet?
And the next Ross page.
Unagi. Always aware.
However, let's look at this page instead.
So I am not always the hostess. I am not Monica that way.
And I don't understand this whole "you're a shoe" thing. Did I miss something? Did I forget something? Who's a shoe? Why are we a shoe?
I don't remember.
Well, good. Then I don't feel so. And here, you have to see this one.
Pivot? Did I ever send you? No, I think I did. I went to the Friends Experience. They don't know that we know they know we know. And Joey, you can't say anything. Couldn't if I wanted to. I sent you pictures from the Friends Experience I went to, right?
You did.
Because I was playing the guitar for like as Phoebe and the strap broke because I'm that special.
Well, and now it says Carrot Cake where your name used to be.
That's right. It was actually pretty fun.
There is no mention of 7 in there at all. We'll put out.
Well, how would you put 7 in a visitor exhibit?
No, I mean in the coloring book there's no 7 either.
How would you put in a coloring book 7 that doesn't make it pornography?
I don't know. I have a mug that has it on there.
Because there's words,
All right.
not pictures and you color pictures.
I don't even color coloring books. I don't even think I have colors to color a coloring book, much less several coloring books that would necessitate a coloring book rack.
I bet Mom does.
Damn it.
And we're going to have to talk about Wayne's World and the gun rack and guns necessitating a gun rack.
A gun rack.
And somebody giving somebody a picture of a gun rack
And now
as one of their first gifts.
When we talk about Zoltan Day, why that happened.
It had nothing to do with the gun rack. That was a long time before.
Underwear. It had Zoltan Day was a culmination of all of it. Oh,
Nothing I did was as evil as you did with those Zoltan Day. Evil.
You've won several after that. Zoltan will never equal. Zoltan will still be here while your wins pile up.
You are evil, as in fruits of the devil. Evil.
Fruits of the Devil? That reminds me of a movie. What movie?
What movie?
Did that be from? I was trying to give you the lead in here.
Oh, I was giving you the lead in. Damn it. We'll have to cut this out and start over.
I don't think so. Do you want to do the lead in, or do you want to do the movie, or do you want me to say the movie? Rock, scissors, paper, rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
That was a mix between rock, paper, lizard, scissors, Spock, and Rochambeau for it.
Yes, Rosham Spock for it. So I married an axe murderer. That's the movie. I'm taking charge here for a second.
All right, so yes, this episode is going to be about So I Married an Axe Murderer. I know we discussed it in a few episodes back. It was one of my movies that I talked about, but in this episode, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the movie and review it and talk about the scenes and why it is one of the most amazing movies.
And I will talk about how wonderful it is to watch it with Lilith, much like Spaceballs. And we can hear her laugh now. Riverside.
Yay for Riverside! And we can now hear the clapboard.
Exactly.
My hat got in the way.
Of course it did. It got in the way of the traffic on I-90.
Yeah. Goes from side to side in my car. It's really hard to see.
Jeez. I've never been in an accident. Yeah, but you've caused a few of them.
It's true. All right. So I Married an Axe Murderer. It was released in July 30th, 1993. It was directed by Thomas Schlamme. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
Yeah, he doesn't either.
Schlamme.
Schlaum.
Schlaum.
Like saying schnapps. Schlaum.
It's fun. Schnapps.
That's a wicked hangover waiting to happen, though.
It was written by Robbie Fox. They had a budget of $20 million, and in the box office, it grossed $27 million. It's, well,
Yeah.
but they do have a large cult following. Huge cult following, and so I'm sure it's made so much more since then. It stars Mike Myers as Charlie McKenzie, Nancy Travis as Harriet Michaels,
Harriet.
Sweet Harriet,
Oh, who's jumping ahead now?
Anthony LaPaglia as the best friend Tony Giardino, Amanda Plummer as Rose Michaels, Brenda Fricker as May McKenzie,
Shut
And-
off the Bay City Rollers.
and Mike Myers as Stuart Mackenzie.
Oh, we're missing somebody, aren't we? Who's the little brother? Willie.
It doesn't matter. Those are the main characters.
Well, Willie is kind of.
Heed.
I think he says 2 words. Put your pants on.
So it starts out, so Charlie Mackenzie, the main character, he is a beat poet in San Francisco. So in this story, as we see his initial poem, woman, whoa, man, whoa, man.
Oh, you're going to do it to me, aren't you?
She was a thief. You got to believe. She stole my heart and my cat. Betty,
I knew it.
Judy,
I knew it.
Josie, and those hot pussy cats. They make me horny. Saturday morning, girls of cartoons will leave me in ruins. I want to be Betty's Barney.
Yeah.
Hey, Jane, get me off this crazy thing called love.
Couldn't resist, could you?
No, I couldn't. Never.
I knew that was going to happen. Saw that coming the same way I saw the Mohawk comment coming.
Well, it's true.
Just couldn't get out of the way.
Nope. It's right in there. You knew it. So this character is afraid of commitment, as we've seen throughout the whole movie up until a certain point. Afraid of commitment. Then he meets Harriet Michaels, who is a butcher that owns Meats of the World.
Because, yes, and why does he go in there?
Because he's going in there because he's Scottish. His parents are Scottish. He goes in there to get a haggis. Now, haggis is, if you know the ingredients, it's pretty disgusting. Though, as somebody who's had U.S. version of haggis, and I say the U.S. version because there are certain things that aren't allowed to be eaten or served. I've had the American version of haggis, and I'm not afraid to say it. I like it. So I want to go to Scotland and have real haggis.
Oh, jeez, you're probably braver than I am. Oh, yep.
So
But I would try I'd try the one that we could get here.
the American version, I don't know. I'm sure it has a similar taste. It has to.
Yeah.
Maybe some spices, maybe slightly different, but it's really a rich, meaty flavor. And so I would never be able to eat a lot of it, but a few bites of it I enjoy it.
Yeah. I've tried Vegemite. I thought that was pretty darn good, but
Ew. That I would try it. I haven't, but it just sounds so disgusting.
I thought that the betrayer, she's the one that I had it from. She brought it back to, that place we met, 18 years ago.
Yes.
Well, we were both undercover, so
Right.
just don't tell.
Secret identities, if you will.
To find the betrayer, and we did, sadly.
So he goes to Meats of the World to pick up a haggis. She asks him, do you really like haggis? He says, no, but my dad loves it. My parents are Scottish. My dad loves it. He takes it home. His friend Tony goes home with him.
He's there early, right?
He is there early.
And they've already been having a cold one or two.
Yep. So when he gets there, his mom says, oh, have you seen the article in the paper? Or get me the paper.
Maybe there's
And
something said about
the
me.
paper is the World Weekly News, basically a fake tabloid type.
Actually, the World Weekly News was a real tabloid.
Well, and that's what it was. That was the paper.
It's Still hilarious.
And in the paper, there was an article about Mrs. X who marries these men and then murders them on the honeymoon. Mrs. X. So while Charlie was at home and he looks at these and he kind of reading through, he sees which each husband was and who, the things that they do, which we'll get into a little bit later, is the different husbands and how he goes through the movie and kind of matches them up to the victims of Mrs. X. But because of this, Charlie starts thinking that Harriet is Mrs. X. And so he's afraid that she's going to leave him. And she's like, "You're afraid I'm going to cleave you?" And he's like, "No, leave me. And so then he goes back and he does a poem about her, because that's when he does his poems, is when he breaks up with one of his girlfriends.
The hard-hearted harbinger of haggis.
Right. But he couldn't blow out the candle because deep down he was still in love with her and didn't really want to let her go. So he ends up writing, or he goes to the local newspaper to put a marriage anniversary for his parents in a notice in the newspaper, and he learns that somebody confesses to the murders of one of these husbands.
His great captain.
And so,
His great captain tells him.
Yes. And so he goes back and he's like, "Oh, I made a mistake." So he writes one of his poems, but trying to win Harriet back. He wins Harriet back, and go through the movie a little bit. Then we get to the anniversary party of his parents, and he realizes, "Oh my gosh, you're in a kilt." That was the, oh my goodness, the mwahaha.
Oh yes, it was. It's a little large now. I really had to cinch up the belt.
That's awesome. That's good.
Agent has lost weight, and this thing. I was a little worried. I'm not a true Scotsman, so I would not win first. Well, I would win first prize, but you wouldn't lift the kilt. And the two young ladies who we won't mention by name.
What two young ladies?
See underwear.
I don't know what two young ladies you're referring to.
Oh, I'll sing the song. Do you really want that right now? That's a quandary now, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I did the woman poem. I mean,
yeah, but my song's like 5 verses, so
it's true. It's a good song.
Then sung it a lot. I sung it drunkenly. Sung it really drunkenly. Frickin' band.
Anyway,
I timed it. As soon as you said that, I was like, okay, that's the signal.
So he proposes to Harriet. Harriet says yes. They get married. Then they go on their honeymoon. And on the honeymoon, Charlie starts discovering evidence. Well, let's back up.
Tony.
Slightly. So we'll get into the husbands, but one of the husbands is a lounge singer and knows only you in several different languages. We'll get there, so we're not going to talk a whole lot about that right now, but we'll get there. And during the honeymoon, or during the reception, she gets up there and starts singing Only You. And then she sings it in another language. And that's when Charlie and Tony look at each other and like, and that's the first clue, right? And then they play it off. Anyway, they go on their honeymoon. And while they're on their way to their honeymoon, Tony takes images of Harriet and sends it to these different companies or police departments. Hey, do you know this person? Oh yeah, that's so and so's ex-wife, and da 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 da. All the husbands that have disappeared. So
A little one, a little two.
so then he calls Charlie and he's like, hey, she is Mrs. X. She is Mrs. X. There's a big storm. The phone cuts out. So now Charlie's terrified. They go back up to the room. He's still scared. They go through a whole big thing, and it turns out that Harriet has her sister, which is the Rose Michaels, ends up being the murderer because she doesn't want any man to take away her sister because she's, yes, exactly. They do that in the movie. Cuckoo.
He says that about Stuart too.
It's true because he is cuckoo. So at that point, the true killer is revealed. It's Rose. The police then arrive and they arrest Rose. So in this movie, there are a few different themes that we can actually bring to our personal life, even though it's a comedy through and through. And some of those things are fear of commitment, paranoia, and suspicion. Even if we love the person, those things can always still be there. The nature of love and trust. We can love a person, we may not trust them. We can trust someone, maybe the love isn't always there. And then the different family dynamics, because they really do show the family dynamics between all of the Mackenzies. Anything you want to...
She said, I do, and we haven't agreed on anything else through the rest of the marriage.
Right. So one of the best scenes, going back to the family dynamics, is to that initial party in the movie where Charlie shows up. Huh?
Charlie shows up.
Charlie shows up with the haggis,
and
where the mom shows him the paper and the article of Mrs. X.
Tony and Stuart are drunkenly watching normal rules football, not American rules. Not American.
Right. And they start talking about the Pentaveret.
That Lyndon H. LaRouche nonsense.
So,
come here.
For GD explanations and this movie, this is one of the scenes that really connected us in the beginning, is the Pentaveret. And they've actually done a series of the Pentaveret a few years ago, which was many, many years after I watched it. It was funny, but I wouldn't ever really suggest people watch it. But they talk about the Pentaveret, which is a secret society of the 5 wealthiest people in the world. They meet triannually at a secret country mansion in Colorado known as
the Meadows.
And the members include the Queen, the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up.
And now the Queen's gone tits up too.
She has gone tits up too. Did you ever see the advertisement or the series of the Pentaverets?
Was that on Hulu?
I don't remember what it was on.
I think it was on Hulu, and for whatever reason, your humble agent must have been on assignment and completely forgot about it.
Could be. You could have been on assignment. It could have been around that year.
On assignment at the ranch, yes.
I watched it. I enjoyed it, but it was
10 years
not what I expected. And Mike Myers did play several characters, but
Did he play the Colonel and his wee beady eyes?
I don't remember. It's been a few years.
Now I'd like to watch it again. I'd like to watch it. I shouldn't say again because I haven't watched it in the first place.
Should look to see if it's still on there somewhere. I'm sure it is.
It doesn't seem like it got a lot of traction at all.
No, it really didn't.
I mean, this movie is still shows up. If you type in, anything about the movie in YouTube, it'll pop right up. Like several different, clips of it. Okay, get that. There, she's made her obligatory cameo.
She did. She did. So let's talk about the husbands and why Charlie heard about these husbands and thought that Harriet was Mrs. X. So one of the husbands was named Ralph Elliott. He was a plumber named Ralph Elliott.
Ralph.
And there was a scene where she screamed out while she was sleeping in her dream, screamed out, Ralph, Ralph, Ralph. Do you remember what happened with that?
Oh, she's my friend.
Your friend, Ralph. Your friend. Do you remember meeting Ralph?
Oh yeah. Was that when I'm naked now, aren't I?
Yes, they had made up and they were taking a bath and someone was there and he pulls out the faucet and he's like, yes, we'll be right down. And they were hugging and his towel dropped and he's like, I'm naked, aren't I? She reaches down and touches his ass and she's like, yes, yes, you are.
Thinks it's hilarious.
Huh?
Harriet thinks it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
And that's a keeper right there. Because if you're naked in front of another woman and your significant other is laughing at you.
Oh yeah. Keeper.
Yeah.
Another husband was a Russian martial arts student.
Oh, and she has about $1,000 worth of weapons on her wall.
As decorations, yes. Yes.
She obviously knows how to use them because she's quite a filly.
Right. And he noticed that during their first date when they went back to her place.
Yeah. Because if we start kissing there, we're going to end up kissing on the bed. I want you to spend the night. I am totally okay with that. Agent T thought that was one of the funnier lines.
Yes.
The one that thought the movie was a slasher movie.
Yes. Nice.
Even after I told her, I think you might like this movie, but it's a slasher. Like, would you just watch that movie?
No, it's not.
I made her pay for it. We rewound several things that I almost made her barf several times.
Also, during that first date, they went and got hot dogs. And there were those Russian sailors who were talking about her in Russian, and she understood them and responded to them.
That would have made me drop my pants right there, too.
Yeah. And that's...
Aside from the martial arts.
And during that, Charlie asked her, how many people have you brutally murdered? And she's like, well, what's brutal to one person may not be brutal to another. So what do you mean?
Come with me, Natasha. Dance with me, with the children of the night. Or something to that effect.
Right. And then the third husband was a lounge singer from Atlantic City. And the husband sang Only You in several different languages. So this then takes us back to the...
Wasn't it this many different languages?
Seven. However, there are more than that. There are more than 7 languages.
Well, yes, but...
But this takes us back to the reception where they start going, wait a minute.
Solo do.
Because she gets up there and starts singing Only You.
Oh.
Which the song is Only You and You Alone. But since it came out, it has been shortened to Only You. And it was written by Buck Ram and he was a member of the Platters, which was made famous in the UK, US, and Belgium. It was released in 1955. In Norway, Steen Ingebrigtsen sang it or charted in the Norwegian language. And in Belgium, Brenda Lee, who was an American actor, topped the charts. Some of the other available languages, even though they mentioned 7 in the movie: Catala, not sure what that is. Euskara, Euskara.
Yeah. Somebody in the comments will tell us,
They will.
because they should have liked, shared, and subscribed by now.
That's right. Bahasa Indonesia, Italiano, Hebrew, Norsk Bokmal, Norsk Nynorsk, Portuguese, Serbio-Croatian, Ukrainian, and Spanish.
I'd be willing to bet Japanese. I'd be willing to bet it's been sung in Japanese too.
So there's way more than just 7 languages that it's sung in.
Yeah, but nobody cares. 7 is the number.
Well, to some people.
Well, to Monica, it certainly is.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about that song because for GD explanations, that is one of the things we always go back to, as well as the Pantaveret or the poet songs.
In fact, we have sung Only You in karaoke. Do you remember?
Yes,
Early
we
on.
have.
Yes, that was back when that place was fun.
Right.
Oh, man. Jeez.
So that's the end of my notes. Is there any scene or anything we want to go back to and discuss?
Well, after the wedding, in the reception, I would assume, when Stuart says, "Let's get pissed," and Stuart gets the microphone and is singing with the piper. Now he knows the words, so we can all sing along.
Yes, we can.
I got a double there, didn't I? But apparently, to play the bagpipes probably takes a prodigious amount of lung strength.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's as cool as playing an oboe, but, that's what Pete plays, isn't it? An oboe? Pete the Ghost.
I don't remember what Pete plays.
Well, okay. But it takes a prodigious amount of lung strength there. I was trying not to imitate Con Jr. there for a moment. Do you know how difficult that was?
Yes.
This 50 years later, and I still can't get that out of my system.
Yes.
You're allowed to hate me for that. You really are.
Be that as it may.
The piper, they're singing "If You Want." Well, Stuart's singing his version of "If You Think I'm Sexy."
If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, all you gotta do is let me know.
Put him down in the heather. That's not those aren't the real lyrics, but Stuart makes up his own. But the piper goes down. We have a piper down. I repeat, we have a piper down.
Yes.
Not a packer, but a piper.
Makes me laugh every time.
I almost got you to snort that day.
I was close.
Maybe one day I'll do it on camera and especially if you're going to snort something bitter out your nose.
Don't do it when I'm drinking a Maha. That's all I beg of you.
Are you kidding me? Fortunately, if we're together, you can go get another one. But that will be...
Still.
That might burn a little bit. that bitter coming out your nose. That's a good scene. The whole wedding scene is fun. The the game they play, Would You Rather,
Yes.
and
In that diner.
Tony's dumbass girlfriend.
Or get electrocuted. That's it. I've been electrocuted once. It was horrible.
And Tony in general, you look like an undercover cop trying to be a 70s pimp. I believe I ordered the large.
The large cappuccino? Hello. That's at the very beginning.
There's just so much fun stuff. I can
All
understand
the way through.
because I can understand because of the title that somebody might think it was a slasher movie because it's got axe murderer in the title.
Okay, but if you see the trailer, you would know that it's not a slasher movie.
I don't think it was promoted very well by the studio. It did, make its money back, but you've got to make like 3 times the budget to be considered a success in Hollywood. And I'm not using this right now.
But I wonder up to date how much they've made, because they've made money since, just
well, on rentals, and because when I saw it, it was on the videotape had come out. The videotape, wow, that just
the tape.
Yeah, the videotape. And we watched it, and probably shouldn't have. It was when I was still younger and impressionable with the church youth group, and they're the high schoolers. It wasn't the younger ones, and I kept laughing at things that I was the only one laughing at, and that was when I thought I'd tell Agent T that I think you might enjoy this. And when she said, "But it's a slasher movie," she was insistent. Cuckoo! But then she loved it since then and can quote it even better than both of us.
Love that movie so much,
especially about you are not supposed to be in the room once the note has been written. And placed
upon the table.
She thought Rose was way too funny, and
she was.
Should have been a clue at that time. Be that as it may. That good little Mormon girl that she converted to.
I was a good little Mormon girl.
Actually, that might have been pre-Mormon. No. That was like the 3 months she lived with me in the room I was renting from the youth pastor.
Okay, but I was a good little Mormon girl, and I still loved that movie and watched it a lot.
Were you a good little Mormon girl?
I was.
Look it, she's back again.
I was a maybe.
And I'm not, just busting on you because no, I wasn't a good little Mormon girl.
I was for a little while. Until I got the second piercings in my ear, and then I just went downhill from there.
Your goddess was working on you way back when. Cat butt. There's a cat butt in my
pocket.
There you go, cat butt.
If you're going to bring on a Mormon as one of your daughters, you have to start early.
That is a good point. And yes, it took her a while to get through to you. Not that she told me that, because she didn't. I'm just assuming that was the thing.
It took a while.
Breaking through that freaking nightmare of a main multi-level of marketing scam. Anyway, any last words?
No, I think we covered it.
Well, you look at that boy's head. It's like Sputnik. It's spherical, but with odd pointy parts. We didn't even talk about Willie.
He's going to cry himself tonight on his huge pillow.
Shh, he'll hear you. And Stuart doesn't give a flying fudge.
Nope.
Well, that was offsides now, wouldn't it? When Lilith and I watched this for the first time together, because we'd seen it, when Stuart, the father, starts talking about the younger brother, Willie, this one right here, started laughing. I thought she was going to wet herself. It was Spaceballs laughter.
I almost did.
And she was on my bed,
Yeah.
sitting there. I was a
Yeah.
little worried because nobody wants that. Not that way. That was offsides now, wouldn't it? Heed, move your head. Get that goddamn
Heed.
cranium out of the way. I introduced that movie to my kung fu school and probably made another, they probably sold a bunch more video cassettes of that.
Oh, yeah.
simply. And that went through like, wow. I mean, it was like, the movie's really funny. So I did that. I sold another 100 cassettes probably.
Good job. Good job.
Aside from, introducing it to Trish,
Right.
who I wish we'd have been able to have on the show.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe one day.
Maybe someday. Not soon, of course. Because
Nope.
that girl's a mess.
She's
But,
got enough going on.
yeah, she does.
All right.
Oh yeah, I guess we're gonna wrap things up as they do in television. Wrap it up. So, our fellow agents and our fellow Hellions. Yeah, it's been a beers.
It has been a beers.
And let me try that one more time. Colinar. So, our fellow agents and Hellions, this is X7. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. And as always, with me is the lovely and talented
Lilith
You-
Draco.
We're phasing out and signing off.
Bye. Live long and prosper.
I got beer.
I got bottled breast milk.
Why don't we start with the beer?
Okay,
So you like the beer?
I do. Although it's actually a lager.
Huh. What's the difference between beer and lager?
I don't know. We could look it up.